Good morning.
It's camera.
Adrian, are you ready to learn?
Yes.
My students are exceptionally bright and curious and inquisitive, but they have learning challenges. And they can range from Down syndrome to neurological damage due to lead poisoning. We have a lot of delayed language, also processing, decoding problems. 12 of the 13 students, English is their second language. I think this cow looks like it has a story to tell, right? The skills that they have are wonderful in doing a lot of hands-on activities. They're visual learners mostly. We bring a lot of different things into the classroom. It's wild in here some of the times because we have so much real things that they can touch and feel and smell and actually experience, and then they can make that connection with language. Making that connection, getting our feelings to wake up. My job as their teacher is basically trying to awaken enthusiasm. And then once you've awakened that kind of enthusiasm, with that they're able to start to focus. Great job. Okay, now let's put a little twirl in it for some fun. And then we just keep trying to take it spiraling out further through their zone of proximal development so that it's really deep and meaningful. That's what has to happen with education, especially for the special day class students. We haven't done mind joggers for a while, but what we're going to be thinking back is when we were studying different classifications of animals, remember? What was the first thing that we studied in this class? Does anyone remember?
Insects.
Insects, okay? The objective for the mind joggers is that they will have lists of family members, colors, shapes, careers, different aspects, so then they can incorporate them into a story. But what I'm looking for is that everyone writes in their mind jogger at least 5 insects. And if you can think about, if you can't remember, then think about what your neighbor, what the student next to you studied about, and you can talk about that in a quiet voice.
Let's share the book. You can have it. Let's share it. No, you can have it.
We'll start on the wall here. Today's mind jogger was great because we had been studying different species and different classifications of animals. And the first one was on insects. So I was asking them to think back to what reports that they had done in depth. If they couldn't remember, they could always go to look to another student to find out, or also to remember what the other reports were about. And with that, it seemed to jog their minds, and they were able to come up with a full list of different ones. Some of the students had difficulty in remembering how words were spelled, so they could go to the reports that the students had on the wall. You can go over there and look at the birds. You can go over to your reports and look at a bird.
It's a parrot. Paluelo cracker. It's the leaf J.
A stellar J. How many of you still need a few minutes more for your mind joggers? Looks like 2 people. Could we have a volunteer to help them? The first thing is that no one laughs at another student, and everyone's working at a different level, so no one's ever comparing each other against each other. We're instead comparing ourselves to ourselves, our own expectations. So why don't you try to think about trying to go to something that you can do. Esteban, when you're ready, you can ask Eric, okay, what his bird was and how to spell it. Because you helped him, and he can help you now. We have so much opportunity to do cooperative learning and collaborations between not only small groups but individuals, and it's really formed a lot of deep friendships between the students that normally you would see being competitive and angry with each other. Instead, they feel really honored when they can help another person. Okay? If Adrian needs help, then you can share. Okay? Let's take a look at that information sheet about Hawaii, my favorite state. Woohoo! A lot of times people have a lot of common interests, Bianca, like surfing, and that brings people together.
Yep.
Like music and surfing and sports.
Also, Miss Moore, I had this video.
Yeah?
It's all about Hawaiian lands.
Would you like to bring it to school?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
The students are given grade level content material, but we try to break it down into the key concepts, the essential learning, and also to help them by scaffolding, by front loading, by using SPED methodology. Excellent. Let me see what you did. Which ones you did?
The insect and the birds.
We're studying state content standards of learning about states in America and California. We just finished a full unit on California, and we did that as a class so we could all collaborate and help each other. Then we wanted to expand because the students, it was by their request actually that they wanted to learn about different states. So that's what we do in this class. We do a lot of constructivist planning with the students and inquiry-based, project-based work. The study of California is a state content standard that some teachers have difficulty doing because it can be really boring. The way we did it in this class was that it was a scavenger hunt, and they had to do a report and do a poster, and all the information was in the classroom. And so the students used their research skills to find where the information was. Okay, the other day we went to Lakeview Middle School, and one of the classes that I liked the most, and I think some of you really liked, which one was it?
The 8th graders.
What did you like about that 8th grade class?
The game.
About the game. And so we thought we would try that today, and I wanted to see if they could problem solve. So we went to the school. We saw that how when the students were walking forward, some of them were running, right? So in this class, what did we learn from that? Who can raise their hand and tell me? Yes.
There's some shots inside the little basket.
Right. So you're going to be walking. How are we walking? Gustavo, can you show us? All right. Okay, so you're going to start at this line for 2 points. Name the California state animal. Go.
Whoa. Hey, you dropped the rainbow. The state grizzly bear.
One of the things that I wanted to do was an informal assessment of the students. And I thought this would be a fun, innovative way to see if they could remember the things and the facts. Okay. Name California state flower. The flower.
The golden poppies. Yeah, she's right.
She's right for 2 points. Adrian, did you know what it was? What is it? The poppy, you're right too. Come over here and get the ball. Go ahead, you can throw it in. All right, Adrian. All right, Bianca. So the key thing was that the students were excited, they were engaged, everyone was listening, and they were actually coming up with all the right answers. Name at least two explorers to California. You ready, Eric? Ready, Karina? Go.
No, Eric is finishing.
Look, Karina, it's a better be a laundry.
The Indians and the dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
The Indians and the dinosaurs.
Yes, the Indians and the dinosaurs lived here before.
One Caprio and Karina get the ball. One drink.
One drink. I'll take that as an answer. They were really involved. They really took ownership of the game because it was their game. It wasn't something that I was imposing on them. I was really just a facilitator in it, and they really were testing each other and testing themselves. It's a flower. Okay, go for your shot. Who knew studying states could be so exciting?
Me. Oh, I don't mind.
You guys crack me up.
After recess and meeting.
After recess and meeting, yes, you may. We give a lot of positive behavior support, and part of that is recognizing that some of these students do need to have movement in their day, and that they will not be positively supportive if they're sitting at a desk. So a lot of things we do might from the outside look like chaos, or it might even look a little bit like we're just having fun in here. It's like a jamboree or party, but we always try to connect it with learning. Who remembers what the story title was that we read yesterday? Karina.
It's about the sun and the moon.
Do you remember what else happened in this story? Eric.
The sun was up, so it's too much crowd. It's like, can I invite some more people in? He's like, sure. Then he brings some more until it was all crowded.
Was this a real story?
No, fake.
It was a fiction. Today we read a story about the sun and the moon, because that's something that we're going to be going into later is astronomy for science. But I like to try to integrate it with multicultural literature and to create a connection not only with the story as far as modeled reading and literacy, but also extending that outward with art. How the Sun Was Born was created by Drexel Elementary School 3rd grade art students after they began studying ancient cultures of Mexico. Many years ago, a mother dinosaur laid 5 eggs. Today we brought a piece from the Folk Art International Museum. We used that to awaken enthusiasm and interest in the literature that I was going to present, and also try to make the connection that this book was actually written by 3rd graders as well, to show that they are also capable of writing a book, and that then they could also have artistic expression and connecting that to the literature. The dinosaur egg became very hot and it hatched. How many of you would like to write your own stories about this?
And draw.
And draw the pictures too?
Yeah.
And maybe even make your own book?
Yeah.
No way. It's going to take a lot of work.
It doesn't matter. We just want it.
Oh, you want it? What was amazing was how the students felt afterwards. They felt really connected to the story. They were excited about, could we study about the sun and the moon, Miss Moore? So it was a way of hooking them from the beginning. So we just read a story about how the sun was born. If you look at this beautiful yarn artwork by the Wichita Indians,
This is a guy.
what do you think you can tell by just looking at this picture? Is there a story just in this picture?
Yeah, this is a dragon. This is a
Like there was a story in the book? Yeah.
that book.
And there's a crab.
You wouldn't see a crab.
No, it's a Toro.
It's a total. There's so many things in this. It connected what we were doing in class, reading and decoding in English second language, developing words of describing what they were seeing. You know what's so interesting is that everybody sees this in a different way,
It tells different stories.
and it tells different stories.
It's a fan. It looks like a fan.
This sun looks like a fan.
Yeah. And then all the wings.
Look at the hair. The hair. We try to use art in a way of decoding stories and to make sure that the students recognize that even if they don't understand the printed word, that using their skills of decoding by looking at the text also, but the illustrations alone can help them give clues for decoding and understanding. So those are literacy strategies that we like to use with the students, and then to extend it with the artwork. Do we agree that Esteban's going to pick for us?
Yeah, no.
And then one person at a time is going to go up there, and it's going to be fair. And then you can always share later. It doesn't mean that's the one that you get stuck with the whole day, right? It was a short art project. It only took like 10-15 minutes, and they really got into it. The penguin. It was just amazing to see the students get so creative. They had choice in which animals that they would like to draw. I want to make sure that everybody understands everybody's art project. Is it going to be the same? No. It's going to be really fun and different. It would have been a really boring book if everyone made the same picture over and over. Yeah. So use your own ideas and just have some fun with it. And the 2 elements that I'd like for you to put in your drawings would be the sun or the moon. Okay? You know, I wonder if this has something about how to draw cats. Something like that kind of a tale.
How about this one?
That's the person's name of the artist that made it. So each one is individually signed by the artist.
January 14, May.
Yeah.
Just there.
There's green and yellow. Her body is brown. She has spots. She got spots too.
One of the things that I'm going to ask you to